Okay, so today was the sentencing of Lori Vallow Daybell, and we were all, waiting for this. Wasn't quite as exciting um, as the verdict because there was still a chance that maybe somehow she would be found not guilty, but she was found guilty. We were waiting for the sentencing. Death penalty was off the table. Anybody following the case knows that. But yeah, we're just kind of seeing what the judge would do. So there were a lot of victim impact statements. Those were pretty interesting. But the most interesting thing of all was Lori's statement itself. So I'm going to read a little bit of that, but I want to just say she was sentenced to consecutive life sentences without parole, as we expected. That would have been the only appropriate thing to do. The judge sounded a little soft at first, but then he got a little stern and was just like, okay, I you didn't commit any crimes before. I can see that you were an upstanding citizen, more or less. He says that you were a good mother and you were active in the church and blah, 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 blah. And things really didn't go wrong until you met this person. But that's not exactly true if we understand that she had started this like long ago when she was still married to Joe Ryan. But anyway, that's just an aside. I just want to go over some of the things that she said that just shocked people. I mean, I could see it in the live chat. I could see it on some of the Facebook pages. So, all right. So first she gets into it by saying that she says, I mourn with all of you how you mourn my children and Tammy. This is a very inflammatory thing to say because, well, we've never seen her express anything that has resembled grief or mourning. And that's even on the private side, like when she was having conversations with her son, her living son, and her siblings and so forth. She didn't really act like she was like, oh, I'm in mourning, blah, blah, blah. She was just very like matter of fact about everything. So, and here she says, Jesus Christ knows that no one was murdered in this case. And then she goes on to say, accidental deaths happen, suicides happen, side effects from medications happen. So again, what is she saying there? That like none of this had anything to do with her or Chad. They just sort of happened independently of, circumstances, suicide. I mean, what is she referring to exactly there? So that was a little bit mysterious, and people were kind of questioning that. What else? Oh, then she gets into this thing about how she died when she was giving birth to Tylee. And this is the first, I'm pretty sure anybody has heard this story before. I mean, I'm a childbirth educator and a doula, so I'm not exactly sure what went wrong on the table, as she says. I mean, maybe her heart stopped during labor. That's pretty rare. If she had suffered a stroke, we would have known about that. There would have been ramifications. I don't know, whatever it is. Let's say maybe nothing happened, but she believes that she died on the table, and she could see her body, and she went up to heaven, and she was there with her sisters. So you remember she had another sister, Stacy, who died as an adult of complications due to diabetes, and then she had a sister who died in infancy. So she talks about that. Wait, what else does she say? So that gave her access to like through the veil, which is something that she and Chad have talked about before. This idea that if you have had a near-death experience, then you have the ability to converse with the beyond, or those in heaven, or whatever. I mean, you get the picture. It's just like, it's something that you either believe or you don't believe. Now, a lot of people who may not believe that do understand that there could be some circumstances where you have messages from people who are dead, or there's just things that you can't really explain. I mean, I myself have had some experiences like that, but this is a little different. This is like actually communing, having these conversations. And it's so convenient that the things that she's being told by the people that she was found guilty of conspiring to kill, those things that they're told absolve her of any culpability. So let's listen. She says that she has communicated with my friend Tammy Daybell. That was weird. I think a lot of people were like, wait, what? Your friend? Your eternal friend, she says. Um, I've always mourned the loss of my loved ones. I know that people where they are now and how wonderful heaven is. I know we have all lived in heaven. We are all spirits in the heavenly world. So she starts talking about heaven like it's this place where there's a lot of work to do. And that kind of like, that also raised a lot of questions for people. They're like, wait a minute, I gotta work once I'm in heaven? Because she's like, JJ is very busy at work. Tammy has a lot of work that she's doing. Let me go to where she says that. Oh, so she says about Tylee that Tylee was suffering. She suffered all through her life. She had pancreatitis, and that caused her a lot of pain and hospitalizations and so forth. And it's very convenient how she says, I was the only one who knew how much she suffered. Because so that means that anybody else who's like, really? She seemed perfectly happy and healthy to me, doesn't really, have anything to say about it, because Lori claims that she is the only one who has witnessed to this. And she talks about how her whole life she suffered. She never felt right. She was sexually abused by her father. That, again, is an allegation that Lori made that was never actually proved, but we know how difficult that can be. What else? Oh, I'm not supposed to say that on YouTube. I'm supposed to say essayed. Oh well, whatever. Nobody's really watching my channel anyway. Let's see. So she almost makes it sound like Tylee was suffering. She suffered all her life. She was in a great deal of pain. So I released her from that pain, and now she is in the arms of Jesus. That's essentially what she's saying in a nutshell. She says that she misses Tylee, she misses her every day, and that Tylee has come to her and said, and I quote, "Stop worrying, Mom. We are fine." She knows how much I worry and how I miss her. And then JJ, after he passed, came to her. This is according to Lori's statement. And he was very, very tall, and he put his arm around her. And he also said that, "You didn't do anything wrong, Mom. I love you, and I know you loved me every minute of my life." Ooh, isn't that creepy? She says that JJ was a wonderful person, and she adored him every minute of his life. And then she says her eternal friend Tammy Daybell has also visited her and says that she is busy helping her family. I have a great love for Tammy, and I know that she is in the arms of Jesus. My wonderful friend Tammy Daybell rests safely in the arms of Jesus, and I look forward to the day when I too will rest in the arms of Jesus. So that's, I think for a lot of people, they're like, oh, good, I'm glad that she didn't get the death penalty, because clearly she would have been perfectly fine with that. So that's interesting. Anyway, so that about wraps it up for this little recap of the sentencing of Lori Vallow. Thank you.